Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl Grace Torie, and I'm back with a whole new podcast episode. Step into my office. I'm kidding. Obviously I'm in a new filming location. I am building a podcast set, but it is not up yet. So if you're watching, we're gonna be in my office until further notice because obviously we don't have the set. So we need to film somewhere. Might as well be my office. That is also why I have not posted a episode in 2 weeks. Because, surprise, surprise, I've been moving and I have not had the mental capacity to do literally anything else. It has been horrible. I never want to do it again. So, yeah, but we are in the new house, ready to go, and we are going to be talking about some monster mother-in-laws, reading some Reddit, and getting right back into it. I wanted to do me looking for my phone because I can't find where the Reddit stories are. Cool, incredible. I wanted to do this as like a Halloween special, like monster-in-laws. But, unfortunately, I didn't get it up for Halloween because I wasn't going to be able to do 2 episodes on Friday and then again on Sunday, even though I definitely owe you guys all the episodes. But I'm leaving tomorrow for Nashville, so I won't be able to do multiple, and yeah, so we're going to still do Monster-in-Laws, but a little bit cheerier, a little bit more holiday vibes, you know? Like, we're not going to be as spooky, scary skeletons. It's just going to be fun. So, relax, hang out. Maybe grab a drink, and that's pretty much it. If you aren't following, don't forget to do that. I upload every single Sunday, and it's story times, it's life advice, it's giggles. If you want to see moving, I have uploaded 2 or 3 moving vlogs, so definitely check that out. Bunch of shorts up, and I'm going to continue to do that as we renovate our house that was built in the 1860s. So yeah, good times, but that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm Grace Torie, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Alright, starting off strong with an r/off my chest titled, I'm in love with my mother-in-law. Which is going to be a yikes from me, dog. Look, it's effing insane, but I can't help it. My wife has a cruel and vindictive streak just like her dad. And while she seems so nice and sweet on the outside, she treats me horribly at home. That's horrible. I'm so sorry. Have you considered leaving? Continuing on. I live near the mother-in-law with my wife. I don't have living family, so we're over there a lot. Okay, that makes more sense. I apologize. It is definitely hard to leave when there are other family, or there is other family, and you don't have other family or anyone else to support you, so I get it. I apologize. I can tell there is tension. My wife always says it's weird how well I get on with her mom. I find myself coming up with excuses to stop by her text. Okay, yep, nope, gonna draw the line there. That's weird. She's 47 and I'm 30. She had my wife pretty young. Still weird. I get what you're trying to do here and justify it, and yeah, I guess a 30-year-old and a 47-year-old technically isn't that weird. The fact that it's your wife's mom is weird. And to me, I'm 26 and I would never date someone in their 40s, but again, I know that lines blur once you hit 30, but either way, no. We're gonna give it a no. I mean, we both catch each other with long glances. There's so much unspoken. I feel like you're romanticizing it. I feel like if one of us came clean, we wouldn't be able to stop ourselves. I hope my wife does not see this and recognize it, LOL. Yeah, that just sounds terrible. There is nothing good that could come of this. It is your mother-in-law. You have familial ties to her. You are married to her daughter. Even if you ran away together, do you know how much drama that would cause? I don't know if you're from a small town, but that would be a small town scandal they would talk about for 50 years. And it seems that the comments agree. This first one that has 97 upvotes says, I hope this isn't real. There's no good outcome from what you desire. Exactly. You'd ruin your marriage, their family, and your own reputation. I'm guessing what's pushing you towards having feelings towards your mother-in-law is because of your wife's vindictiveness and cruelty towards you. Exactly. You should talk to her about that first, and if things don't work out, you should start questioning the marriage. Directing her coldness towards you to fancying your mother-in-law is not the right way to resolve that issue. Exactly. It's oh, well, it's okay that I'm fancying her because you're cold. No, 2 wrongs don't make a right. They responded and said, I know that you're right, but I have to live this day in and day out. Honestly, I think we just need to move. Her dad is a terrible influence on her. She was not like this till we moved back close to them. He just sets off this bad streak in her. I hear that. I hear you. I hope, it says that it was deleted. Maybe I can see Okay, since it's deleted, I can't see if there are any updates. But yeah, that's tough. I don't feel that having a relationship with your mother-in-law or even romanticizing it and saying like she feels the same way. It doesn't matter if she does or not because you're not going to go down that down that road. So it's a no for me. Moving on, mother-in-law. That is just the title. Hello, so I have to vent. We just had a baby reveal and learned we are having a boy. My mother-in-law asked my husband, what is OP's father's name? My husband tells her, and a few days later, she says to us while on the phone, we've been thinking about boy names, and I don't think OP's father's name works. And other things such as, that's an old name and doesn't work these days. Old names are coming back, okay? It's also not anybody's opinion or decision, like, should not matter in what you're naming your baby, and you should shut your mouth and not say anything about what someone's naming their baby. Unless under extreme circumstances, after they come out with it, if you say that's an absolutely awful name, the kid's going to get bullied. I can kind of see that. Obviously say it a lot more nicely, like in a calmer, nicer way. But other than that, I can't see a reason why you would ever say, like, why would you name your kid that? Maybe like if it was your name. Like I saw a Reddit story where someone was told by their sister they need to change their name because they wanted to use their baby, like her name for the baby. And so she needed to change her name. And obviously that would be a situation where you could be like, absolutely not. That's my name. You know, name her after me. I don't care, but like, that's my name. So yeah, moving forward. Mind you, we hadn't told her that what we were going to name the baby. Even worse. But we were going to name him after my father. Even better. WTF? Why would she say that? I'm so mad about it. It's such a negative thing to say. Plus, it's my father's name. True. Put some respect on his name. Who died 7 years ago. Yeesh. I am so sorry. That's even worse. The fact she knows that and said that is even worse. I'm on the fence if I should call her and tell her she offended me. My husband asked her why she said that, but he went easy on her. I'm pissed. Any advice? Edit. Hey you guys, thanks for all the support. It feels great to read all your messages. It makes me feel much so better that you all agree. Yeah, so everybody's basically rioting and saying, just ignore her. This makes me so mad for you. You know, whatever. Just tell her she'll get used to it. That's so sad. That's just like, I get wanting to name someone after your father, absolutely, and that's nobody's business but yours and your husband's, so she can kick rocks. This one is titled Mother-in-Law with the emoji of like the eyes looking at the ceiling like they're rolling. So, my 34 female, 29 weeks old baby, mother-in-law. So, this person is 34, and they are 29 weeks pregnant. Mother-in-law constantly, okay. So this person is 34 and 29 weeks pregnant. They said, my mother-in-law constantly begged us to give her a grandchild, complained to elderly relatives when she didn't get a pregnancy announcement for Christmas, took offense to us calling her our dog's grandma, etc. When we announced to her and my father-in-law that I was pregnant, we gave them mugs that said grandma and grandpa on them, and their initial reaction was to assume that it was a reference to our dog, and I was rubbing it in their faces that I hadn't given them a grandchild yet. That is a horrible thing to assume. Like, that is so, like, I don't know. It seems like the world revolves around me to assume that they would do this elaborate prank just to make you feel bad and that they're rubbing it in your faces. Like, that would be very petty, and so I understand that, and, like, kudos if you did do that, but obviously you didn't, so for them to assume that off the bat is crazy. Yeah, let's keep reading. When they finally noticed the ultrasound in the box with the mug, she exclaimed, "Oh, thank you. Do you know how long I've waited for this?" And then father-in-law chimed in with, "I hear it constantly. Aw, I thought I was never going to get the opportunity. Thank you." That's crazy. In contrast, when we announced to my parents, my mom started jumping up and down her seat, said, "Oh, congratulations. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you too." And my dad said, "Oh my gosh. Oh, really?" Rory started tearing up from happiness and excitement. I want to call out the difference between the two reactions. The first is, I'm so happy for you, and they are just so genuinely happy, congratulatory. Where the first one is, I thought I was never going to get the opportunity. Do you know how long I've waited for this? You see the difference? You see, you picking up what I'm putting down. Today we got group text from my mother-in-law with a picture of 2 baby outfits and the caption, baby, husband's last name's first outfit. One of my coworkers gave to me today. My grandmother's shower is next Friday. Grandmother's shower? I've never heard of that. Is that a thing? I did not change my name when we got married. Our son's last name will be my last name, his last name with no hyphen. Our names just happen to go really well together, so we decided this works best for us. And it's your decision and no one else's, bestie. His mother is aware that we are naming the baby that way. Additionally, I want to be clear that when she refers to her grandmother's shower, she doesn't mean a shower she's throwing for me. She means a shower for her that I'm not invited to. That's horrifying. Like, having a grandmother shower calls back to what I was saying earlier, how, like, you're making it all about you. But the fact she didn't even, like, invite you, the person carrying the grandchild, like, yes, you are her daughter-in-law, and you should be invited simply because of that. But the fact that you're literally carrying the grandchild and she still didn't invite you is just insanity. Like, what are people gonna say when they get there and you're not invited? I hope that they call her out. I really do. Oh no. She said, my dad just passed away on February 1st, and I am already mourning the huge loss to myself and my baby because he would have been the best grandfather, and I was so excited for him to be that for my son. This absolute selfish narcissist of a woman is adding so much to that stress. I just can't with her. And what's worse, she lives 5 minutes away. I know she's going to want to be here constantly, and my husband doesn't fully understand how I feel. He knows she's being ridiculous, but thinks it's not a big deal. She's just excited and not crazy. Even my own mom always tries to think only positives about other people, and so defends her when I just need to rant. Okay. I'm really sad for you, because in this situation, your husband should be backing you up as the mother of his child and his wife. You should come before his mother's feelings. I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, but I feel that way. Whether you're 5 minutes away, an hour away, across the state, across the country, you can still go low contact or no contact. And that is your decision alone. I mean, obviously, if you're married and he's like, we're going to Christmas and stuff, then it becomes your both situation. So that's where it gets tricky, because like if you were single, you could go no contact. But with them being a family member, like if this was like a friend or a friend of a friend, you could 100% do it on your own. But you're definitely going to need to have him in agreement if you want to go no contact, which I think you absolutely should. There is a world where I try to do low contact before I go no contact, and I try to set boundaries ahead of time. What I typically do is communicate. These are the boundaries. Do not cross them. Give them 2 or 3 chances, and then we go low contact somewhere in the middle. And then if that doesn't work, we're no contact. Nothing. Doesn't matter if you're 5 minutes away, an hour away. I literally have gone no contact with people who live nearby, are friends with my family, go to my family events, and like we just don't talk, or we go at different times. Like, it's possible, but with it being like your husband, he has to be in agreement with you. And I feel like, one, the last name, first name thing, like, you know, last name, that is a conversation you two had, I'm assuming, before you got married. Because I feel like that's a conversation people should have before they get married. So I'm going to assume the best and think that you talk that through. You are in agreement about that. That is not something that your mother-in-law is a part of. Like, she does not have a say. She just gets to accept your answer and not complain about it, because it's not her child. And it's not, like, it has nothing to do with her. You taking his last name has nothing to do with her. I don't know if this is like, oh no, like he's taking, like our last name dies now because it's becoming a hyphen, non-hyphen, but like, you know, combined last name. I don't know if it's one of those weird things. Part of me, if she hadn't done anything else, I would chalk it up to, oh, she just wanted to shorten it because she was texting, and so she just said part of it. But the fact that she's doing everything else is crazy. Apparently, grandmother showers are a thing. I have never heard of these. Never, not once. And I'm kind of glad that they're not common here, because the amount of people that would take that to the limit, like, girlie, this ain't about you. You're not pregnant. Your partner's not pregnant. Like, yes, you are becoming a grandmother, but what are we showering you with? Gifts that are actually gifts for someone else, like your daughter-in-law and your son, or your, daughter and son-in-law. Like, I don't get it. Yes, it's a huge milestone, but you should be stepping back and, like, advising your child and, like, mentoring them if they ask for it, and, like, being a grandparent. You shouldn't be nesting and doing all the things that are associated with having a child. You've already gone through that process. So I hate this. This mother-in-law is insane. I'm so sorry. I wish I knew more context about your relationship with your mother-in-law before this. Has she always been an issue? Because has your husband always sided with her? These are the questions I need answers to, because, like, I don't know. Like, I just don't understand why you would marry someone who sides with your mother-in-law when she acts insane. Has she always acted insane? And I'm not trying to judge you. It just, I feel bad, because I feel like this is something that I wish you knew sooner than right now. But I don't know if you did or not, because I don't know how long she's been crazy. But yeah, I feel bad. I'm so sorry. Apparently there is a subreddit called Just No Mother-in-Law, and I found it. So I'm going to read one called, in quotations, my baby. I am 16 weeks pregnant with my first baby. These were a lot of pregnancy ones. I didn't realize that when I picked this, but a lot of pregnancy. My mother-in-law is a combination maybe some of us are familiar with. My husband is an only child, and her husband can't stand her and doesn't pay attention to her. Now, my husband is becoming the same way, ignoring her calls, frustrated by annoying, intrusive, and smothering behavior. See, setting boundaries, we love to see it. Is he communicating that he's setting boundaries? No, but at least he's ignoring her calls. Let's take it a step further and communicate, though. My husband wanted to prioritize telling people about the baby in person and wanted to do something cute for his large, tight-knit, extended family over Thanksgiving. He didn't have the opportunity because mother-in-law already told everyone without asking if it was okay. Oh, hell no. Yesterday, she called and said there was so much drama and everyone was upset that they had not heard from my husband. He pushed back and said, as discussed, he wanted to do it in person. She then proceeded with the classics. I guess I'm a terrible mother. I guess you hate me. I guess you love your dad more. I am dealing with illnesses you don't even know about. I guess you can choose if you want a relationship with your cousins when I die. What does that even have to do with it, first off? Second, what? I would not tell her anything until you tell the extended family. Obviously, she's proven that you can't. And there's people like that. Hearing someone be so mean and manipulative to my husband rocked me. Not to mention she acted like a lunatic at our wedding, so I have my hang-ups about her. It also feels so invasive because this baby is in my body. She complained about always being alone on her birthday, so we have a birthday weekend trip planned for her next weekend, and I'm just not sure how I'm going to get through it. How do I handle this? Should I address it? You should say you have morning sickness and you can't go. Sorry, I hate that for you, actually. Yeah, that's awful. I'm so sorry. I'm glad that your husband sides with you, though. I'm glad about that. Because if he didn't, it'd be like the last one where you just feel alone. So I'm really glad that you have that. But yeah, that's just, I don't even know what to say. Like, these mother-in-laws are crazy. Like, I'm getting worn out just reading about them acting out. We're switching over to r/petty revenge for how I lost my weight to spite my mother-in-law. This happened during Christmas of 2018. My now ex-mother-in-law was living with my ex-husband, who is a 44 male, and I, 44 female. I was not particularly fond of mother-in-law. She's lazy, selfish, and entitled, among other things. A couple of weeks before Christmas, she asked me what size jackets I wear. I wore a medium to large at that time, so obviously that's what I told her. Fast forward to Christmas morning, and I opened my present from her, which was a beautiful black spring summer jacket from Fairweather, in a size small. Keep in mind, when she asked me my jacket size and I told her, she repeated it back to me several times over the days before she purchased it. After opening it and seeing the size, I politely thanked her for it. Meanwhile, I was wondering why she bought that size and if it was somehow a mistake on her part. The next morning, I got my answer, and she made no mistake. She approached me and said in her rural Newfoundland accent, That was the last jacket like that on the rack. If it don't fit ya, I'll have it. So, instead of looking for another jacket in my size, she saw one she really liked and happened to be in her size. She bought it for me in her size, hoping that because it didn't fit me, I would just give it to her. That is insane. Why even buy? I mean, obviously, she just wanted something for herself, but it's like, why even buy anything for her at that point? Like, just buy it for yourself. I did ask her about using the receipt to return or exchange it, but she accidentally lost it. Instead of calling her out or giving her the jacket, I told her that the size is fine and how much I really liked it, which is true. Now, being perimenopausal and also having a hearty appetite, losing weight is a struggle for me. At the time, I was technically overweight for my height, and losing some weight was in my best interest. But until mother-in-law pulled that little stunt on me with my Xmas present, I wasn't that motivated to lose the weight. By the next spring, though, the jacket fit me perfectly. Heck yeah, queen. Mother-in-law was still living with us, and every time she saw me wear it, she would glare or look longingly at me wearing the jacket and say, "Oh, I love that jacket. I wish I could have gotten one for myself." 5 years later, her son and I are divorced but still living together. That's horrifying. Sounds like a terrible situation. I finally came out in the open about being lesbian, which is why we split. I still have and wear that jacket, especially when she comes in from around the bay. And she still comments on it. Wow. I mean, no notes in terms of the petty revenge here. I mean, I love that for you. You get hot, you win the jacket. No notes. Another petty revenge titled, "You Got Yours," in quotations. I have been enjoying the Schadenfreude here for a long time. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And I'm pleased to finally have something worth sharing myself. My wife came to me with some unexpectedly happy news, and I feel it meets the expectations of petty revenge readers. Some backstory. My mother-in-law has spent her life cultivating a career of emotional, can't say that word, manipulation, visiting it upon her children and grandchildren with extreme prejudice, along with most anyone who gets close to any of those aforementioned. She's narcissistic, bipolar, and just a mess. My brother-in-law, wife, and kids all have some manner of trauma traceable to my mother-in-law's influence. My father-in-law, comparatively, has been a saint of a man from what I can tell, aside from losing marks by way of enabling his wife's behavior over the years. It's usually how it goes. Father-in-law helped us purchase our home in the same neighborhood many years ago when we had trouble with a loan, with plenty of passive aggression from mother-in-law in the matter in the background. It was bought outright with the equity of father-in-law/mother-in-law's home. We pay the mortgage towards our equity loan monthly. This has also led to mother-in-law referring to us as her tenants, passing herself as the owner of the home, and other things in some really embarrassing ways. Ugh. Father-in-law passed away recently. I'm so sorry to hear that. Mother-in-law has a long history of making everything from her son's coming out to her daughter's divorce about her. This, as expected, has been an endless wealth of drama for my mother-in-law. My wife has been taking care of things around her home while she wails as the grieving widow. Wife recently discovered that most of the house bills were unpaid and that some were headed to collection soon. Wife gathered up the bills and made spreadsheets, presenting them to my mother-in-law. Her first reaction was to wail incoherently. When my wife suggested ways to resolve the debt, my mother-in-law became hateful towards her. "You just want to get your hands on our money." Now, father-in-law did extremely well in planning his retirement. He managed a portfolio that left he and his wife close to $750,000, and they've enjoyed a modestly extravagant decade, doing literally anything they pleased. Father-in-law managed all the finances, and so they fell into slight disrepair in his absence. Anytime it came up, cue the hysterics, hence my wife's offer. My wife, who has ever been the dutiful daughter despite the constant put-downs and harassment from her mother, suggested that she explore a power of attorney so that my wife could consolidate her finances, get a lawyer to manage the estate and to see any bills, and arrange for a will if she so wished. After a week of silence, my wife received a rather vitriolic message from mother-in-law. "I'm doing the power of attorney, but I'm giving it to your brother." Ooh. I neglected to mention that any prior whisper of a will was met with daggers from my mother-in-law, and her favorite phrase on the matter was, "Don't even ask, you got yours." We're definitely not banking on getting a cent of inheritance. We made our peace with it, no problem. But it is salt in the wounds that my mother-in-law has dealt my wife, brother-in-law, and the kids over their respective lifetimes. Enter my brother-in-law. He was the firstborn, and he has never put up with any of the crap my mother-in-law has tried to sling at him. He grew up shielding my wife from the bulk of her outbursts, at least partially, and calls mother-in-law out on her behavior. As a result, a neat little phenomenon occurred where, as my wife seeks mother-in-law's approval and affection, my mother-in-law seeks the same from brother-in-law. Oh, then maybe it's good he has power of attorney. Brother-in-law doesn't like the raw deal mother-in-law has been giving my wife. He takes the power of attorney and consolidates all the debts, sets up the estate, etc. In doing so, he digs into all the accounts. Turns out, father-in-law had set aside money for his kids and grandkids in addition to his retirement, to the tune of about $200,000 each. So life-changing? Mother-in-law seems to have had no intention of passing it along. Good thing brother-in-law is now acting executor thanks to the power of attorney. So, after seeing after the care of mother-in-law to the end of her days and the management of her estate, unbeknownst to her, brother-in-law paid off the entirety of the outstanding equity on mother-in-law's home, which paid off our home. And he released access to the trust belonging to him and my wife and put the trust for our kids in my wife's name. We now have the potential to be completely debt-free before the end of the year. This is life-changing. My wife is over the moon, and obviously so am I. It will be all the sweeter if mother-in-law decides to crack at my wife with that, "You got yours again." My wife can just smile and nod and know that it's really true. Well-deserved comeuppance for her and brother-in-law after they've had to endure under mother-in-law all their lives. Hope you enjoyed. That is a very happy ending. I'm glad that they got to not have to deal with her ever again. Because, like, if they have a relationship at this point, it's by choice. I'm not saying that they only had a relationship for, like, money or anything, but it sounded like she felt obligated to because of the father, and now that he's not in the picture, and it truly is just like emotional manipulation. If she can work through that and set boundaries, then maybe she doesn't have to put up with her crazy mother anymore. But I'm glad that her brother, like the brother and your wife, are together in this and they're not like against each other, because I know that tends to happen a lot with crazy mothers. We have time for one more, and it's titled "Showing Off Nice Jewelry to Mother-in-Law." This isn't anything super cool or crazy, very minor, but the joy it brought me is immeasurable. My husband's mom is not a good person. I am someone who always finds good in people no matter how bad, and I make too many excuses for poor behavior. For years and years, I did this with her, until I finally accepted she's just a rotten person to her core. She often acts like a jealous ex-girlfriend with me and has been very, can't say it, obtuse, mom to my husband in his childhood and adult life. A recent Christmas, she demanded my husband send her $200 for a Christmas gift. She demanded? This is my thing, bro. Like, just because you had a kid doesn't mean you can ask for money or things from them. It drives me insane. It drives me insane. I get that you raised them, but, like, that should have been a selfless act. That shouldn't have been something that you did in hopes that you'll have a little money bank for the rest of your life once they turn 18. Like, that stuff drives me up a wall. He refused this time for the first time and told her he didn't have the money and couldn't. He had recently got me a wedding ring upgrade. He gave me a diamond bracelet for Christmas that year. I soaked them both in dish liquid, which helps the shine, and cleaned them extremely well right before she was set to arrive for Christmas Eve, so they would sparkle enough to blind her. When she did arrive, as I suspected, she noticed as I dangled that hand around her face frequently, and she asked about both. I gave her a better look and gushed about both, saying, "Husband got them for me. Aren't they beautiful? He couldn't wait to give me the bracelet for Christmas. It's okay, though. I still have tons of gifts from him under the tree to open for Christmas. You raised an amazing son. He spoils me so much." I'm not sure I've ever seen that much anger in her eyes. The one thing that bothers me about this is I hope that the mother-in-law doesn't start things with him and say, "Wow, you could do this for her, but not me," or whatever. Like, you know, that's the only thing that bothers me is, like, if it falls back on him. But he had to know that, like, she was going to see it eventually. Other than that, no notes. Well done. Put her in her place. Queen shit. That is pretty much it for this podcast episode. Thank you so much for listening, watching, being here, putting up with me moving and the delays. I'm so excited to get our set up. I have so many good ideas ready to go. Just trying to get moved in so that I can focus on that. But until then, we're just going to chill here. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a great Sunday. I will see you next Sunday. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the things. And I think that's pretty much it. Bye guys. Love you.